Okay guys, welcome back to the second part of the Carisma SCA-1E shock absorber remover and rebuild video that I'm doing. First part we saw how it comes apart, out the bits individually, and now we're going to go for the rebuild. So, shock absorber body, I'm going to install in the reverse order that it came apart in. So, one of the O-rings first. Then your O-ring grease, a bit of a dollop in the middle, and rub it all over in all those hard to reach places, and then just pop it back into the bottom of the casing like that. Now I like to use a hex driver just to make sure it sits down nice and flat in the housing there. And next is one of the little black washers. Same again, just pushing back nice and flat. It goes in nice and level. And there's the next O-ring, same as the first one. Get the cat hairs off. Nice dollop in the middle. Give it a good rubbing in. Don't squeeze too hard as you're rubbing in the grease, because the things will tend to ping off somewhere and you'll never see it again in the abyss that tends to be the RC workshops. Go, push them home. Last black washer, and then we can put the bottom cap back in. Like so, that's that little stage built up. Like that. Next up, we're going to put our shock shaft and piston assembly back in. So I'm going to look down the end, very carefully find the hole that it goes through, and gently push and twist, just like that. It will eventually pop through. Push and twist. There it goes, and it takes the excess grease with it. You can just wipe away on your tissue and just work it up and down, work the grease in nicely. Get a nice smooth movement on it then. Just like that. Wipe the shaft off, covered in grease. Those are my fingers now. Now we can go for refitting joint. So just get him started on the threads. Grab hold of him, tighten him all the way down. All the way home. There we go. Lovely smooth movement on there. And next up, get to fill it with the oil. So have a shock, fully extended position, holding him like that. I'm going with the 350 CPS silicone shock oil. Works out roughly about 35 weight. It's a good base setting oil for your trucks. And by all means, always encourage people to experiment with thicker or thinner oils. Suspension tuning is a bit of a dark art. I don't profess to be a master at it, but experimentation is the key, because you will find something that suits how you drive in a terrain that you drive on. For sprung setups I tend to use 35. On the droop setups I go for something a lot thicker, 900, maybe 1000 CPS oil, just to get a nice slow and controlled action to the shock absorbers. But it's all down to you, down to personal preference at the end of the day. So fill him up, take him to probably about 5mm from the top of the shock absorber. Like that. And I'm holding the body of the shock absorber and the ball joint, slowly work your piston up and down. Give a little twist just as it comes to the top. Do that a few times. What you're doing now is there's going to be little pockets of air trapped underneath that piston, and you're just slowly working them out without obviously trying to introduce any more by coming up too far. Any bubbles that you see appear, come up to the surface, just gently flip the side of the shock absorber, tends to get them to pop quite nicely. Another way you can do it is you can get a shock absorber stand and fill all your shock absorbers and leave them to sit overnight, let the bubbles gradually work their way out. But this is the way I do it on mine. The more you do shock absorber rebuilds, the more it becomes a bit like second nature, and you'll know what works for you. Keep going up, push it up and down, giving it a little twist as it comes up to the top. A few more bubbles in there. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to go for refitting the main cap. So I'll wind him all the way on. Like so. And back him off a turn. Now push the shock absorber up into the body. You may get a bit of excess oil leak out, which is fine. Then I'll fully tighten him. And there we go, got a lovely smooth movement to that. You may find that you do still have a little bit of air left in there, in which case you may want to pop the cap off and do the up and down twisting of the shaft and the piston, or you may want to leave them to sit overnight as previously mentioned. Just going to crack him open again. Lock him off. White. And I'm happy with that. And after that, what you want to do is refit your lower spring cup. Slots on like that. Actually no, spring first, pinch the spring down, lower spring cup into place, and there he is, back together. And all that's left from there is to do the reverse of the removal that you've done previously, to take it off the vehicle. Do your other 4 shock absorbers. That is job done. So hopefully this has been of some use to you. It can be a little bit daunting if you've never done it before. We've all been there, but definitely encourage people to get on and have a go with the maintenance side of things. It is just as enjoyable as driving the trucks, in my opinion. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you've got any comments, please leave them in the box below, and hopefully I'll do some more videos in the future showing some other things. Thanks guys.